they feeling for chest, I bet. When the DJ knock up for deck, I know say you don't they carry you go. Carry you go where you know no. But like it when I'm go low. Carry you go where you know.
Welcome back, friends and family, to another episode of Character Over Complexion. This week, family, we're going to deal with something that I believe is very, very important. Otherwise, I wouldn't even make this video. But this video is about loving ourselves again. And in order to deal with loving ourselves again, we have to deal with the reasons why we've come to hate ourselves. And when I'm talking about ourselves, I'm talking about each of us individually. And I'll just share with you what I think has caused me over the years to not like myself or not to value myself as much as I would value someone else. And before y'all come up and say, oh no, I love myself, I love my life, I hear you. But when I look about our behavior as a whole, I'm not talking about what you say to yourself. I'm not talking about what you say in the front of your friends. I'm talking about how you treat yourself based on how you deal with others. The reason I say others is because the world uses external things to get to your internal. See, they can't sink your battleship without sending missiles. So there's a chance that based on how you deal with other people and how you interpret the information coming from the external can expose how you feel on the inside. You know, if I tell you I got a cup of coffee, you'd have to take my word for it unless something bumps against me and then some of it spills over the rim of the cup and then you can see. It's the same thing with our soul and the way we think. Based on how you deal with other people tells me how you feel about yourself. But we're not brought up like that. You know, in society, we're not brought up like that. It's usually based on what you say more than what you do. And before some of y'all start to disagree, because there's always going to be people that's going to disagree, right? They say action speaks louder than words. I disagree. I believe the loudest thing that you can do is your behavior. Because your behavior tells me why you do the things that you do. That's why most people, when they open the door, most murders happen through the front door. They let somebody in, no forced entry. Because you thought that person was cool with you, and then you turn out they wasn't. But they did all the things that checked the boxes, but their motives, their behavior, the red flags, you've overlooked them. Why did you overlook them? That's your own personal reasons. But the reason that we're dealing with loving ourselves again is because it has to start on the inside first and project to the outside. Because we're the most forgiving people in the world. That's why last video I said we're the most moral people. If anybody debates that, who's the first one to forgive somebody when it comes down to complexion people? It's always going to be the melanated people that's going to be the first ones to forgive and to forget. Otherwise, the kidnapping thing wouldn't have went on for over 400 years, 500 years. And then when y'all mad with somebody, y'all going to turn around and hit your brother or hit your sister or treat them wrong. It's so easy to be negative to these people that look like you. So this is why I'm talking about your attitude and my attitude dealing with my brothers and sisters that is on the is external, because it reveals how I feel on the inside. If I hold a door for my brother or my sister, as an expression that I'm holding the door for them because first I love myself and second I love what I see as a reflection. And I hold the door for anybody if they're in like 2 footsteps to the door, so we're not gonna go there. You see, because every time a guy like me comes out and starts to deal with his people, especially when they're melanated, almost all the times when they're melanated, that, you know, the people that's not of my complexion will come and say, oh, he's prejudiced or something like that. I'm not prejudiced. I don't have a prejudice bone in my body. Some of the nicest people that been to me been of the lighter complexion, because they help open doors for me that no one could have opened but God himself used them to, you know, bring me on to certain knowledge about certain things. Now, I could also say the same thing in reverse. Some of the most wickedest people I ran into was people of the lighter complexion as well. Because there's only one race, the human race. So, you know, somebody broke it down into complexions for a reason, because it's to get mastery of a certain complexion of people, because we want to take everything from them in order to enrich ourselves. So in order to sleep at night, we gotta come up with some rules, you know, because we don't want our grandchildren and their great and all of that to think that we were horrible people. We want them to think, you know, what we want them to think. And that's why I'm making this video right now. It's not to disrespect anybody. It's to uplift my own, just like everybody else does with impunity. So I'll do the same. It's not illegal, at least not yet. So that was basically my introduction to It's Time to Love Ourselves Again. And what I'm going to start with is I'm going to put some images up on the screen. And I'm going to pause for a second and ask you how that makes you feel. So how does this image right here make you feel? Okay. I feel the same way. There's a reason for images and symbols. See, while we was out there doing what we was doing, and you know, most of the things that we do is, if I can be honest, family, you know, is of entertainment and of self-pleasure. And before you say, well, everybody does that, I want to tell you that everybody is not in the back of the bus. There's something about the way we're doing things, the way we're moving in the world, that we have to change. And I would say the first thing that we need to change is the way we think. This is why this channel came about. Because character is still the most important thing. Because character is what's promoted in different complexion people to gain access to certain things. And when it comes to our demographic, it's usually, you know, bad news or something is out of place with us. Or the criminality, so-called criminality gene pops up because of the imagery. Now, throughout this video, I'm going to post up some different images. And I know how it's going to make you feel, because I know how it makes me feel. So without further ado, I'm going to just jump into it, you know, and start to share with you what I have here to share with you today. And hopefully you don't get too bored with this truth. So I'm going to put this image back up. And as I do that, I want you to be honest. And I want you to see through eyes that you've never looked with before. Even if you got to step out of your own skin to do it. Some of y'all pretty good at it. Some of y'all are some raccoons. I'm just going to be honest. And y'all smile in people's face. You know, you cheesing all day with the complexion people, and then when a Hershey's chocolate handsome brother like me pull up, then you can't make eye contact with me because all the jaw are gone, because you programmed. You see, that's what I mean when I say love ourselves again. Because when I see everybody else reacting, when I see a Latin brother meet up with his Latin brother, he not looking at the ground, he looking at him in the eyes, and there's a joy about them seeing each other. We don't have that. The entire world has agreed to kidnap our ancestors. And in the 1400s to make it legal by edict that the Pope put out to basically give criminal behavior to someone that hasn't done anything just based on their skin color. Because that's the only way you can take somebody's freedom. Once you take their freedom, you took everything from them. So when I say love ourselves, again, how is your behavior? I know you may say, oh, I love my family, I love my mama, I love my brothers and sisters. And if you have kids, I love my children. If you have a steady woman, yeah, I love my woman, right? But how is your behavior? Are you living in such of a way to where you willing to throw your life away and allow these people to enslave you again? The things that people bled and died for and gave up everything for, to put it on the line for men like me and men like you. We're going to throw it away in a blaze of glory, right? Because that's the cool thing to do. To be criminals or to look the part. And the ones of us that are trying to do things, are trying to make moves in this world, we have to go through the BS because of our brothers and sisters that just don't give a damn about themselves. So let alone they can't care about us. And men like me, all I want to do, I had to go through the BS that I had to go through. But all I'm trying to do is make the world a better place for my children. And maybe my children won't see it. But their children's children need to see it. But if we still doing the same things that we've been doing, how are they going to see it? How are they going to see it if we still doing the exact same things? That's a crazy viewpoint. And everybody else, when they come to this country, they get to work. You know, yeah, we've been done wrong. Yeah, we did. We had all kind of wrong happen to us. All kinds. And it don't look like it's going to change unless we change. I feel like I'm dreaming sometime, family, when I ask you the impossible, to take back your mind. Because everything that you've done or everything that you've heard since the time the doctor slapped you on your behind has been negative. From the aunts to the uncles to the people on the TV shows that we like. Do you ever notice how they drag these people? If there was positive role models like Bill Cosby, and I don't know all the stuff that happened with that, but I'm just saying, like, man, they got people that done far worse things than Bill Cosby did of a different complexion, and these people are living their life. They're getting Oscars. I'm not going to call their names, and I'm not talking about Will Smith. They're getting Oscars, and they're being recognized, and these people rape they R-worded little children, right? So, you know, even the fact that I can't even say that word. I mean, this is YouTube. I mean, they got rap videos and they got rappers on YouTube saying all kind of injuries and you know, by the way, that's my name for my word for the N-word is injury. Because all of us, man, are an injury to ourselves and our community when we don't take our mind back. When we live the prescription out that was given to us by society that tells you that you're a criminal. I mean, I know you're probably tired of hearing me saying the word, but I will keep saying it until you understand. And if you don't like it, just turn off. Because somebody else didn't hear it. And they may take a little more, they may have more patience than you. And they need to hear this. And I need to say it. Because this stuff has been eating me alive for too long. I look abroad and I watch the plight of my people. And that's one thing about being an owner-operator. You get to go all around the country. And it look like we all know each other because we all suffer in the same way. We all think in the same way. And the ones of y'all that's not, God bless you. Because I see the trouble. And I hear a lot of talking, and I know I'm talking too. But I don't have the millions yet that some of you guys have. And I don't have the platform that some of you guys have. And some of you have been sold us out. And for nothing but a new house and some cars and some money. Do you recognize this life is not the end all be all? There's something after this. And the reason I say that you too, if you sold us out of an injury, is because you're in everybody else's mind. And you will be judged by jury. If you escape it in this life, you're going to get it in the next one. So let us stop being injurious to ourselves and to our communities. Let's stop terrorizing our own communities. Haven't we been through enough? If anybody should get a pass, it should be you or me. It should be my sons, my daughters. It should be your sons and your daughters, your mamas, your grandmothers, your grandfathers, your uncles, your aunts. Everybody should get a pass because haven't they suffered enough? Haven't you had enough? Oh, you still having fun, right? Because you're terrorizing your own people. Because you're selling drugs to your own people. We glorify this ignorance. We glorify the crime. We glorify the fact that we're hurting each other. No other demographic does that. They will band together and fight you, and they don't have to know each other. We're the only people that are pushing another demographic out the way to get to each other. And when we start having a problem with each other, is another demographic that got to get in between us. Our minds are gone. And we need to fight for it. And in order to fight for it, you got to recognize that it's not in place. You're being brainwashed every day you're alive. And it's even hard for me. So I know it's hard for you. Because of the imagery and everything that goes with it. The symbols. You can drive by some places, man, they got Confederate flags bigger than the state hanging off the pole. And you could only imagine the person that decided to put that up there and how it gets to stay there that long. It's a mystery. How are we going to win this war that has been waged against us? According to Sun Tzu, the art of war, they attack our morality and make us think we don't have any. So anything that happens to us is what was supposed to happen to a criminal. And they attack you from the inside and corrupt you that way. What better way with images and symbols? And when you make a back door for yourself in a building with no back doors, you feel like it's the right thing to do. And I tell you, we are victims. That's been pointed at us for a long time. And it's perfect. It's called brainwashing. It's the art of self-hate. And it's been perfected for the last 700 years. Even before our people came here in captivity, it was working on us in Africa. It was working on us in Spain. It was working on us in Portugal. It was working on us everywhere but America. But in America, it was perfected. It was perfected by people that hate you. And they gave us a weapon that you can't put down. Because everywhere you go, your brain is right there with you. America brainwashes the world through imagery and propaganda, through distorted history and manipulation, in order to keep the hierarchy. There are some that get paid millions to enable the pyramid scheme to mistreat so-called black folk. The few criminalize the many through imagery, images of idiots, Europeans in blackface, by creating so-called representatives. You call them celebrities. They come out, they throw money in the air, they show luxury cars and homes. They find the worst of us and give them a platform. Then the elites celebrate these traitors. They promote them by making them famous, giving them endorsements of all kinds and prestige. The question is, how does the most hated people on earth that don't have anything but a lust for fame and money, how do they get in exchange for millions and a platform? You must remember, these are the worst of the most hated people on earth. Why and who gives them a platform? I'll tell you. Slavery never ended. Aren't there any great blacks to give a platform to? My wife is a doctor. She just became a doctor, and she did it in 2 years. There will never be somebody that come put a microphone in her face and put her images up for her to represent us as a whole. They always gonna give that to for the brothers and sisters that practice meritorious manumission. And what that is back in the days, if you would have saved, when we was coming here on the slave ships, they came up with a program that was so complete that it destroyed our mental. They said, if you saved the master's life, if you protected his property, or you invented something that he could have made a profit off, and last but not least, if you turned in your brothers and sisters, if they was planning a rebellion, they was gonna set you free. That was devastating to our people, and they still use it today. It's being used today, but it has been perfected. Your favorite rapper and your favorite basketball player might be done sold us out. Our favorite movie star might be done sold us out. If you wonder why they're getting all this money and getting paid all these millions of dollars, because acting isn't a job, basketball isn't a job, making music isn't a job. Somebody decided to pay for that and then put these people up that's a rare amongst us because they have God-given ability, and they take that person and they put them on a pedestal, and that person could have zero morals and they could care nothing about the rest of us. But that's the ones that get a platform because they're using them to sell us out. When they say they sold their soul, they telling you in your face that what they do next, what you go to support them doing next, is for your detriment and for your children's detriment. But we the only people that's like this on the face of the earth that hate ourselves so much that we will go and support something that means us death and destruction. We must rise above this, family. And only the Most High can rise us above this, because the seasoning is in the meat. Memory, family, we have to learn to love ourselves again. We know that we hate ourselves through images. Or every time you see an image of one of us, we on the news, destroying something or being hauled off to jail. February is coming tomorrow. We're going to have to go through the mental escapades of seeing our people in slavery and tortured when they really were kidnapped. They didn't do anything wrong. The truth of the matter is, family, we embarrassed to be black. We are embarrassed, and don't you say you're not. Because we try to hide it with external devices as far as money, fame, and to tie on to anybody's coattail that we can tie on to disassociate ourselves with our own people. That's because we don't know who we are. We don't know our heritage. When we're mistaken about a lot of things, I'm not mistaken about a lot, but some of us are. I'm no better than you. You definitely know better than me. We learning together. But family, one thing that we all have to do, all of y'all by the sound of our voice, by the sound of my voice, is to go back and read your Holy Bible. This is the only answer for us, family. And before you turn this off, don't you turn this off just yet. The reason I'm saying the Holy Bible is because it'll tell you who all the people on the earth are. You'll be surprised when you find out who you are. And how they put these images again on our faces like this for all these years. They've taken everything that we've done great and used it against us. The people in Africa, they know how to build pyramids, great statues, kingdoms, royalty. They was everything. They only didn't know how to do one thing, family, and that was how to build a nose on a statue. Isn't that ironic? Or do you think it like I think, or do you think like I know that they were destroyed? Everything else is intact. The ears, everything, the mouth. They try to destroy the nose where it mess with the lips a little bit. And when our children come up and they see somebody with full lips, they're not going to know that there was chocolate people because of Botox and all of this stuff like that. We're watching them rewrite history and rewrite what we consider to be beauty right in the front of our faces. But you got to always use your mind, family. You got to pay attention. We got to put down the sports. We got to put down the entertainment for just a season and focus on being better people and loving ourselves first. Because I'm going to tell you, you can't love God and you can't love anybody else without loving yourself first. But in order to love yourself, you got to break some brainwashing and you got to break some tape. Because the seasoning is in the meat. The brainwashing is too absolute. It's too absolute. Because we want to distance ourselves from each other. And the solution is to come together. It's always been divide and conquer, family. The Willie Lynch program 1712 is still in effect today. But they lift some of us up. And the ones that they lift up is divisive. The ones that they're not talking to is the ones that's going to help. But you got to know that. You have to learn that all of this is entertainment. Be honest, when Lamar Jackson them lost against Patrick Mahomes them Sunday in the AFC Championship game, I was hurt. I was hurt. Because I had so far identified with Lamar Jackson and his story that I felt like I was playing against the Chiefs. And Patrick Mahomes, they never did me anything. I don't have a reason to dislike the Chiefs. But I was so much pulling for Lamar Jackson that when they lost, and it's not just that they lost, that he played a bad game and they were able to pick on him and bully him again. You know, in my perspective, he's going to have to deal with the doubters and all of that stuff like that. You know, it's like there's some type of liberation. But don't get it twisted, family. That's just sports. Lamar Jackson is a multi-millionaire. He's very successful. He may be a billionaire before it's said and done. So before we start feeling sorry for people that's infinitely richer than us with finances at this point, let's keep it in the perspective. This is just entertainment. But being that we will take on any identity other than our own, I was hurt. And I had to go soul searching. I did some things that wasn't smart that day, family. I'll just be honest with you, I'll tell you the truth. I was hurt. I was looking for any little thing to give me some type of joy about me being me. And then when I came to myself, I said, man, what the hell are you doing? I said, you're supposed to be trying to solve some of these issues, and here it is, you becoming a part of it by letting your mind get caught up into these things right here. That's what I'm talking about. It's even hard for me. This brainwashing is absolute. We'll associate ourselves with anything that look like it's positive, especially if we ain't got to do nothing but clap our hands and drink a beer while we watching. Tell me I'm wrong. If we don't have to do nothing, we want somebody else to do it. And this is why they've been able to keep us in this system like this for this long. Because we celebrate somebody just because they got a few damn dollars. We celebrate somebody because they got a home, even though we know they embarrassing us. So they can throw on a few more Versace shirts than you. So what? These people are embarrassing us. They're embarrassing us. And it's already enough embarrassing to be black. And you can say, oh no, this and that. No. Listen to what I'm saying. If it wasn't embarrassing to be black, we would have been done took over the world a long time ago. Because the smartest people are black. The fastest, the strongest people are black. But without the head, the body is dead. This is what they've been learned. And it's not to put down no demographic. I'm talking to my people here. I'm not trying to push nobody else down. I'm saying, hey, I'm looking and I'm observing what happened to the plight, what's going on with the plight of my people, and this is what I'm observing. Everybody has agreed that we are going to lose in everything that we do. They agreed on that. Power is something that's agreed upon by a bunch of people. They've all agreed that we're going to be dead last. And that's fine if they agree to that. The worst part about it is that we got our people that agree with them. That's why we won't help each other. If you walking around in the store and you with your lighter complexion friends and you see a chocolate brother like me, that might mess your day up because I remind you who you are. For a second, you was able to look abroad and look at lighter complected people and forgot that you was chocolate, that you was black. You forgot just for a second that you was black, and when you saw me, I reminded you of that, and now your day is messed up for at least 5 minutes until you stiffen up your cheek buns a little bit more and get that stick back up in your behind again. But as long as you're thinking like that, the world will never get better for our children. We have to learn to love ourselves and appreciate each other. If I can help you, I shouldn't hesitate. If you could help me, you shouldn't hesitate. I'm not talking about giving me money. I'm talking about just anything. Hold the door open for me. Ask me how the weather is today or something like that. Anything. But we have to start treating each other like people. That's the start. We have to remember to love ourselves. We have to take back our minds. And once we do that, we will remember that all the things that we've been through, all the embarrassment that our people suffered, not of their own volition, not of their own will. They were kidnapped forcefully by the whole world. They all agreed on it. And nobody had our back. And nobody have our back now. So we just do what everybody else do, and we beat up on black people. We disrespect black people. Because this is the way the world works. So if you can't beat them, then join them. You'd rather get on the other team side. I would rather be what God made me. And you'll learn in time is a beautiful thing. To be who He made us. But that's for another video. All I have to say to your family is let's learn to love our reflection again. Let's learn to look at the good things about ourselves. Let's not wait for somebody to tell us we're great. Let's know that we're great. We survived everything that they threw at us. And we thrived. And we still invented. And we still taught people how to run chemical plants. We still taught them how to distill alcohol. We still taught them how to put together cars. And how to scale from one car to a factory. We did that. We didn't get the credit for it because somebody had kidnapped us and made us their property. So they got the credit for it. But if you pick up a book and you start to read, and you see how great you are under these circumstances, you'll see that what they call pressure in a football game is not nothing. It's nothing. It's just a game. We have to learn to love ourselves through life and learn how to live again. And not take the prescription that they gave us as far as cars and money, but take our time and build it the right way. And build it with each other. And if you can't build it with each other, build it by yourself. Like they say, if you build it, they will come. Just know this, family. I know I got a little passionate right there. But just know each and every one of you are precious to me. Because I know what you've been through. And I know that you're still here. And I know that you're still surviving. And I know that you're still thriving. But let's do it the right way and remind the world that we are the most moral people that has ever been made. Until then, take back your mind and know that Shane loves you. Till next time.